So when we do the lab drawings, okay, or the lab diagrams, what you're going to do is you're going to use Google Drawings. Now, I say that you are going to use Google Drawings. If you are an expert with using other photo editing software, I am perfectly fine for you to use other photo editing software. If you're a Photoshop genius, okay, or whatever, you go right ahead and use whatever photo editing software you want, okay? But this I know everyone has access to, and I can quickly demonstrate to you how to do a lab drawing using Google Drawings, and you can use it no matter where you are, okay? So what we're going to do is just go down to the observations part here, okay, where it says see lab drawings on following pages, okay? So because each lab drawing is supposed to be a full page, you're going to put them after your lab report. Okay, so when we're talking about the proper format for a lab drawing, okay, it's going to look something like this. Okay, you're going to have your picture of your specimen. Okay, in this case, it's a flatworm. Okay, you're not going to be looking at that, right? But I've got my specimen, and it takes up as much of the page as possible. Okay, my picture needs to be as big as possible on the page, while allowing room for labels, which are on the right, my name and the date, obviously not 2011 November 12th, okay, and then below it goes the title, the magnification, and the size, okay? Everybody with me here, okay? Those things have to be in your lab report. This is proper lab drawing format, okay? So your name and the date go in the top right corner. Make the picture as big as possible. All your labels go to one side. I don't care whether it's the left or the right, but they all go to the same side. Your lab drawing shouldn't look like an explosion, okay, with lines going everywhere. All the lines should go to the same side, and just like this one, they should all be horizontal. Okay? Now you may need to kind of go up diagonally and over in case two are overlapping. That's fine as long as the line ends horizontally. Okay? Otherwise, again, it just looks like an explosion with a bunch of lines coming out of it. Okay? And then underneath the title, so the name of what you're looking at, amoeba, letter E, paramecium, okay, whatever. Okay? The magnification, so if you looked at it on high power, you'd say 400x. If you looked at it on low power, 100x. If you looked at it on scanning, 40x. Okay? And then the size, which we talked about how you estimate that, right? If I looked at the letter E, it took up half of this field of view on the scanning power, then it's 2,000 micrometers. Okay? That's the stuff that has to be on your lab diagram. Now, I know right now we have not gone over the parts of the cell. Okay? So in case any of you are stressing out about how do I know what to label, don't worry about that. For these, I'm just worried about the format of the lab drawing. You can call it the purple thing in the middle, okay, or the ink blot, or whatever you want, as long as the format of the drawing is okay for this lab. Okay, for our next lab, we're going to be looking at what are all the parts, okay, but that's not coming up yet. All right, so does everybody follow the format here? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to build that now within your lab report. So I'm just going to go down onto the end here, okay, and get into the page. All right, so we've got a fresh page here, okay, and now I'm going to go to insert, okay, and you guys can kind of walk through this with me if you want. It's probably a good idea for you to kind of go through these steps yourself there with your drawings. So I'm going to go to insert, okay, and I'm going to go to drawing, okay, and I'm going to make a new drawing. When I do that, it opens up Google Drawing, which is like the world's worst photo editing software, right? But it's going to do what we need it to do. All right, so it just gives me this blank kind of canvas here that's transparent, okay? And what I want to do is I'm going to insert the picture that I took through the microscope with my camera, okay? So you'll have to have saved that in your Google Drive if you're going to want to access it, okay? That's not hard to do, right? So I'm just going to click Insert Image, choose an image. So I'm inserting that picture that I've taken. Okay, now I've got my amoeba, okay, into my Google drawing. So the same as what you've done. You take your picture and you insert it in there, right? And you can make it whatever orientation you want, okay, that kind of makes sense. So for me, if I want to put labels on the right-hand side, having it go long like this is probably not the best orientation. So I'm going to do it like this, and then slide it over. So I've got the drawing now set up, okay, and what I'm going to do now is insert some arrows, okay, or some lines, okay, that are going to be for my labels. So this thing is probably something I'll want to label, okay, so I'm just going to draw a horizontal line over to there, okay, that's probably something I'll want to label, okay, take a horizontal line over to there, it's just 4¼ inches, okay, this thing's another thing I'll want to label. And if you recall, I was saying that if you got two things that are kind of right beside each other, like this dot and this dot, and you don't want to have the two lines right on top of each other, you can go up and then over, okay, to make enough space. Right, so now I'll be able to put those labels in. All right, so all I've been using, guys, is the line tool here, okay, on the top. Next thing I want to do is put in my text box. This is where I'm going to put in my name, the date, and the name for all the labels that are going on here, as well as the title, magnification, and size that go down below. So I'm going to insert a text box, okay, and right up here in that top corner, I'm just going to draw that box, okay, and put in dates. So March 17th. Alright, then I'm going to do that for each one of my labels. Okay, put another text box here at the end of that arrow. Okay, and that's a vacuole. And another one here. Last. I'm just making stuff up here, guys. These are not actual labels. Call that nucleus. That's actually what that is. And let's make another one here. Membrane. Okay, so now I put in my labels. Okay, and again, all I'm using is the text box tool here at the top. Okay, those all go in there. Then I'm going to go to the bottom. Okay, and somewhere here in the middle, I'm going to put in my title, okay, and magnification and size. So this is an amoeba. It's under 100x magnification, and it is 400 micrometers, right? I'm just using UM for that. Okay, so now my lab drawing's done. Did that take me very long? Yeah, you're lucky because you could just use the picture. You didn't have to draw it by hand. Okay, so now, okay, I'm just going to go save and close. Okay, up here in that top corner, and boom, did my lab report. Okay, at the end, and it takes up basically a whole page, and it got cut off a little bit here at the bottom. Not sure why that happened. Okay, so that's how we do those. Okay, and then obviously you put the next one on its own page, and the next one on its own page, and so on. Okay, everybody follow me there?
How would we label E?
Inside of E, outside of E, ink dots. I don't really care what you label. Okay, you could even just go part A, part B. Okay, and that's fine. I'm just looking for the format of your drawings on the slide. Okay. All right, so that's how you do your lab drawings. Okay, and I've recorded all that. I'm just going to put that recording in with the assignment in case you need to review that or you get lost somewhere. Okay, along the